Good day, everyone. My name is Dan LaBert, CEO of NAILBA. Welcome to day 8 of NAILBA Engage. We are continuing with our discussion around insurance innovation. Joining me today are the folks from Simplicity Group. For those of you who don't know Simplicity, they are a leading financial products distribution firm that specializes in providing best-in-class insurance, investment, and business development solutions. They are a big supporter of NAILBA, and they have their fingers on the pulse of the industry. Today, we're going to cover lots of different areas, right? Products, solutions, security, retirement, backroom sales, marketing, and what's going on in the industry. To tackle these questions are 3 individuals from Simplicity Group. Nathan Jacobson, Executive Vice President of Sales at the Life Channel. Nathan, give yourself a hand raise there. Jacob Stern, Executive Vice President of Strategy at Simplicity Group. And Brian Schneier, Executive Vice President, Life Sales at Simplicity Group. Gentlemen, welcome to NAILBA Engage again.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Dan. Good to see you guys, albeit virtually. So I mentioned in the intro that we're going to be talking about various areas here. So I'm going to throw up some jump ball questions, and I'd love for you guys to jump in. But let's just get a background about Simplicity Group. And obviously, NAILBA Engage has a lot of broker general agencies, a lot of carriers, and a lot of advisors as part of the over almost 1,800 registered attendees. So lots of areas to cover here. So, all right, gents, when developing proprietary products, how much of the process is driven by current advisor needs? Now, this is a big focus for NAILBA because we've been focused around the advisor experience. So hearing about how proprietary products are developed with the advisor in mind is a big priority here. So first jump ball, take it.
I'm going to go ahead and take that one, Dan. And it's such a good question because I would say 75% of our process is strictly driven by the advisor needs and consumer needs. It's kind of a woven blend. And what I like to say, I'm really focused on working with advisors and also consumers on speed to protection. And what I mean by speed to protection is, are we taking advantage of all technology available, all artificial intelligence, all data, and is the approach going to fit into a holistic planning need? And every single product we're building right now, which 2 are launching over the next 60 days, are driven with that process. So it's really, we have this huge foundation out of the gate that 75% is already built. And then we kind of take specialization for that other 25% to make it really unique for each carrier.
Well, it's not just about the advisor experience, right? Though there's hopefully on the tail end of a pandemic, and the 3-click mentality that many of the American public have. What about consumer choice when promoting retirement security? We mentioned when developing proprietary products, but you opened up about the advisor experience. Consumer choice is important. I mean, they can't just sell vanilla. So you want to take that one?
I definitely do. And we've been so unique as a distribution company for so many years with our level of training. And the second thing that we always build into everything we do at Simplicity is that consumer experience, meaning, is this product flexible enough to go the lifetime? Is it going to start out and give maybe a substitute for some college planning? Is it going to protect against sequence of return protection? Is it going to be there to celebrate the success of retirement? So we look at everything we do as longevity. Is this product going to be there day 1 for protection, day 300 for protection, year 40 for protection? And is it going to fulfill the little bumps as we go along in life? And is it also going to celebrate retirement by adding more value to retirement?
Brian, let me press you a little bit on that, though. Every answer, I'm sorry, not every answer, but everything that was included in your answer was going around, the future of life insurance there, right? Proprietary products, you mentioned the longevity was a key word. You mentioned, the ebb and flow of a person's investment, retirement security, things like that. So how do you see proprietary products playing in the future of life insurance distribution?
Well, I got to tell you, I believe if you're the size of our distribution, and there's going to be probably 3 or 4 of us at this size over the next 3 years, I think every one of us will have a stable or a proprietary product that differentiates us from each other and really does a good job of identifying what our distribution needs. We are probably one of the largest in the financial institution space. We support a lot of sub-IMOs out there in the BGA, IMO, NAILBA world. And we also have a massive direct independent distribution. So our products of choice are going to fulfill the needs of all three of those channels. Or maybe another distribution partner develops one specific for the teachers market, the retirement market, the college planning market. So that's where I see it going. And I really believe that proprietary product will be the difference maker between us and the competition, and also the advisors that choose to work with us versus anyone else in the industry.
Thanks, Brian. I've heard from the start of when I joined NAILBA that, you know, life insurance is a difficult product to sell. And I don't believe that. I've said that a number of times, but I actually believe that our industry has made it difficult to sell. And if you're talking about creating the experience and not just the transaction, that will go to, you know, the heart of consumer choice, right? Because that's obviously in the world we live, that's you know, consumer choice requires that experience and not just the transaction.
I agree.
Brian had mentioned about working with many NAILBA members, obviously IMOs around independent distribution. Let's get into some of the backroom items, areas, right? I've heard from various broker general agencies, you know, in their quest for, you know, back office solutions, sales, you know, different marketing platforms, all that are going to help, you know, with the advisors and help the consumer choice. So I'll throw up another jump ball here. You know, what is the best way for a NAILBA BGA, a BGA who's not a member of NAILBA, although they should be, you know, a sub IMO, to look at the tools that you guys are offering? Because we hear this a lot. How does NAILBA help us grow our business? And obviously it's identifying the right partners. So when obviously Simplicity Life is a great partner of NAILBA. So when you're talking about identifying the proper tools to grow business, what is Simplicity Life doing?
Yeah, Dan, I'll jump in here.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, no, as Brian mentioned, a core part of our business is supporting other organizations in the industry, Dan. You know, I think Jacob and Brian, when they built this business, were very thoughtful about not only you know, building out tools to support our direct agents, but to support organizations who may not necessarily have a focus in the space where we've specialized. So if you look at, you know, in terms of engaging with us, there are a few ways to do that. One would be through, you know, any of the three of us on this call, but we've also built out a team that is specifically dedicated to supporting other organizations. But if you look at, you know, and I'll go into some of the tools that we've got out there for, you know, partner organizations. Really what we've done, especially in the last 18 months, is really focused, and this ties into the proprietary product as well, as focus on ease of doing business, and helping the, you know, both agents and these other sub-agencies engage with their clients in a virtual world. So that's been a big focus. As you've heard on some of these previous calls, Dan, a big focus of ours has been agent education, which leads to consumer value. We do a ton of sales forums with carriers. That's a key component of what the sub or partner organizations come to us for. They like to reach up to our menu and you know, pick certain parts of it. So if you look at the overall platform, there are different pieces to that menu. There are just the sales forums. Some just want to utilize the partnership with us to drive agents to the sales forums we're already doing. But then there are other components like underwriting, back office support that they come to us for. But then we've also made it a big investment in sales platforms. Dan, an organization that is friendly to NAILBA, Insight is a big one for us. They're a great partner for us. And then flipping to the other side of it, the in-force capabilities, we've also partnered with Insured Connect, who I know is a good NAILBA partner. And,
yes, they are.
That our partner organizations can reach up and grab as part of our platform.
Nate, let me dive in a little bit there. Go ahead, Jacob.
I just wanted to add one other important piece that's a really valuable sales tool that our partner organizations can use is our purchase about 18 months ago, a tax-free retirement. There's a great way, both from a lead generation as well as a client retention tool. So again, as Nathan and Brian mentioned, we just have a really robust platform, and Nathan really hit the nail on the head where these organizations can reach up and take all or pieces, and we have the team that can help them work in that sort of environment.
There's no doubt that aligning right partners in the industry now is extremely important, high priority, because we all have to find efficiencies, and we can't lose the momentum around digital that we've gained over the past year. I say it very carefully. There are benefits of the past 12 months and what we've been going through, right? Every crisis, there's opportunity. And clearly, more agencies are leveraging online marketing tools, resources, different things like that to help, grow their business. Now, Nathan, I want to come back to you because we all know this is an interesting industry we're in, right? There's a lot of name dropping. There's a lot of sales material out there. There's a lot of emails every single day promoting you have the next great product, right? And I don't really want to turn this into a commercial, right? But NAILBA is the voice of independent wholesale brokerage, right? It's our job to let everyone know in independent distribution what is available to them. The best way that I have found since I've taken over as CEO is to share success stories about the product, right? Trust me, and you guys probably see it all the time. And given the role I play with NAILBA, dozens of emails every day that so-and-so has the next great widget that's going to change independent distribution, right? That's great. And they may have it, but until you give me a success story, that is when colleagues, BGAs, IMOs, carrier executives, the partners that we mentioned, that is when their ears perk up. So give me something here, right? You got to have one or two, maybe three.
Yeah, we got a lot of success stories, Dan, but I'll give you one in particular. I mean, and I think this applies to a lot of our partner organizations. Dan, I think the overall life insurance space has kind of moved towards predominantly IUL focused space, and that hasn't always been the case. In fact, there are still some organizations that either haven't gotten on the wagon or are just trying to get moving in that direction. And that's the example I'll use. This organization historically had been a term GUL focused organization. They saw where the market was going. They saw the platform that we have, like Jacob said, with tax-free retirement, which is a very heavily focused IUL sales platform. And they started driving their agents to our sales forums, and had their agents start to utilize that platform. And in just a 15-month period, they literally went from call it 200,000 in target premium to last year 1.6 million in target premium. And again, that's an organization that historically had not been focused in the IUL space. It was really the two-pronged approach. It's one, showing them ways to engage with their consumer base, but then also again with the engagement with our carrier partners, showing them the value of the IUL. And so I've got stories that I could go on over, but that's a key one that we used, and we'd welcome the ability to partner with any NAILBA member firm in the same capacity.
All right, Nate, I'm going to press you a little bit. I've once been described as being tech dangerous, right? So that's probably one step up from tech savvy, where I don't have to ask my 13-year-old daughter to program my phone or enlarge the font. But I know enough around various products, databases, analytics, algorithms, you name it. I have a working knowledge. Maybe I could be on Jeopardy. But now, I just sort of said tongue-in-cheek before that everybody comes up with the next great product that's going to change independent distribution, right? And clearly we're in the right atmosphere to do that. But sadly, right, I've seen one too many times in not just our industry, but other professions as well, that they come up with a great product and they fail to invest in the infrastructure, and then boom, right? All of a sudden they hit scale, and then their scale disappears quickly because they didn't invest in the infrastructure of their platform, their product, whatever, right? So if we're going to talk about helping NAILBA member agencies, give me some reassurance that Simplicity has made a significant investment, time, talent, treasure, whatever it is, into the platform so that the opportunities to grow are there, but the opportunities to handle that growth is also there.
Yeah. Jacob, do you want to jump in on that one, or?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I think I would, it really, to me, that's in two pieces, Dan. One is Simplicity Group itself, its infrastructure. And we, having the size and the capital base that we have, and let me just highlight a few areas, we put a ton of money and time into that area. And I think that's very apt that you're thinking about that. So let's talk about a few specific areas. One is, let's start with the sales process. Nathan mentioned we heavily leverage Insight and some other technologies that can help that advisor really present in a virtual world or at the kitchen table, so to speak, to that client. And again, we have the sales support that can help that agent or partner organization implement that. Then we have been using Firelight and some other order entry systems since 2015. So we're experts. And again, our partner organizations can leverage into that platform. And now we have some carriers, in fact, some of our leading life and annuity carriers, we're at over 85% submissions through those online order systems. And that's great for a variety of reasons, but most importantly, it gets the business in the queue quicker and through the system quicker, again, leveraging that piece. The last piece that we're doing, which is critical, is our CRM. We are firm and staunch believers in Salesforce.com. We feel it is by far the most robust CRM out there in the world. In fact, it is the largest used CRM in the world. So we are putting a ton of resources we have and will continue into that platform. And that, again, we don't have enough time today, but that just allows us from everything from lead generation to campaign management to taking care of the advisor and partner organizations to case management. And then on the back end, we also have policy reviews and what have you. So those are all the great areas that we're using technology today.
Jacob, let me stay with you, and I appreciate that. But I also, in addition to strategy, you're also the president at Simplicity Group, if I got that title correct. Let's talk about business evaluation. Let's talk about legacy planning, succession planning. Earlier in NAILBA Engage, we had a big succession planning discussion. All the way around merger and acquisition. While NAILBA is growing and we're picking up a lot of I should say, non-traditional broker general agencies, there's no such thing as a traditional BG anymore. We do have quite a few that are looking at the exit strategy for their agency, what they can do with it. Can you just offer some, and by the way, Bruce from your team was great when we discussed this at the beginning of NAILBA Engage, but we got a lot of questions about that. We got a lot of clicks on that. It's one of our most viewed sessions for NAILBA Engage. So if a NAILBA BGA, a traditional BGA, they're on the tail end of the agency life. Maybe they don't have any people in the family that are willing to take it over. Obviously, many NAILBA agencies are generational. But just if they're looking for some advice about succession planning, just some guidance, the business evaluation process. I know Simplicity obviously offers those services, but can you just offer a little bit of casual conversation about them?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And just to reiterate, I know Bruce did a great job a few months ago, but since 2016, we have acquired over 18 organizations. So we're very proficient just as a expertise. That's one of our expertise. But to dive a little deeper, really at the heart of it, we're looking for additional sales partners. We're really not looking to be someone's retirement package. We're looking for people that at the heart, they want to grow their business. And we've talked a little bit about this today, is how they can plug into our organizations and again, grow their business and over time, leave a great legacy. And if you think about it, how we've built Simplicity Group, it's really an inverted pyramid, meaning the executive team is actually at the bottom. And then we have the core mid-office functions. And then finally at the top, our sales professionals, our sales leaders. And they're at the top for the reason is they're the most important. They're driving the revenue of the organization. And so we have built everything to support that sales partner and that sales office. And so again, if you're an organization looking, what's the next step? That's really critical in your analysis of it is, we're really looking for folks that want to continue working, but take away some of that, I'll call it that. And again, as a person who sold his company, the finances, the legal, compliance, wouldn't it be great if you just kind of could give that up, still run your company, still be successful, engage in more sales programs, sales tools, and technology that, again, as your size firm, that's tougher to implement or have the capital to invest in that.
Jacob,
So
I'm glad you took that softball. Listen, I threw a hanging curveball at you intentionally, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants a golden parachute, right? Well, we all individually want.
Yeah, we all want
parachute.
it. Yeah.
But you're right, because the traditional BGA out there that, when they start looking on what their options are, it's not that they want to stop working. They're just hitting a ceiling. And and the industry, sadly, we've created some of those ceilings, but we've also, been very intuitive on finding ways that partners can come in, become partners with, outside partners around the NAILBA space can come into NAILBA, look at the internal BGA and say, you're not done yet. There's plenty of growth here. You just need X, Y, and Z.
So something we're very proud of at Simplicity Group, there are now 10 sales partners that sold their business and are now off earnout. Brian and I, we were actually the first ones, but there's 8 others. All 10 of us are still working with Simplicity. So to me, that's a great story to show, even after my I guess we'll call it legal obligation was done, I'm still, it's a great place to be in, and will continue to be here for a long time. Exactly to your point is, this business is in a lot of our blood, right? We're regardless of our age, we grew up, we put our heart and soul into it. So to sell and then turn over the keys, I don't think that's really anyone's excited to do that. But again, a way to sell, diversify maybe some of your personal position, still have stock now in a much bigger company, and then day in and day out to be part of this team building, as you mentioned in the beginning, the largest financial distribution company in the country, is really, really exciting.
Well, there's a huge opportunity there, right? Because so many principals get to a point where they've run it by themselves. They don't want to turn the keys over. But when you become part of an all-star team, a leadership team, people who've been in your position could share the resources, talk about what they did, and then to realize what opportunities are in front of them because we're stronger together. That presents growth opportunity.
Exactly. I should take you along with our acquisition calls. You did a great job right there. Thank you.
I represent all of independent distribution, right? But sadly, that's been it, right? So much as far as the association world is concerned, we've turned a deaf ear in the past to the M&A space. And, it's not always necessarily a bad thing. Yes, it sometimes hurts from a membership standpoint, but you know what? If you create the value prop, if you build it right, they will come. So it was a better role for NAILBA to look at, the different groups that are out there and talk about the different opportunities, because anytime you could join an all-star team and have that leadership together, that goes to the rising tide example. Jacob, let me finish with one more question for you, if you don't mind. Let's just talk about the landscape, right? Clearly I've tugged on it a few times in my comments back to you. Just the industry, independent distribution, it's a changing landscape right now. Obviously, hopefully on the tail end of a pandemic. Opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. You want to give us a big close there?
Sure. To me, as I look at our industry, it's an exciting time, but I think it's also a challenging time. And I think it's smart that everyone recognizes that. Let's talk about some of the challenges, some of the headwinds. We're still in persistent low interest rates. And that's at the end of the day, obviously we're distributing products from carriers, and that puts, for obvious reasons, pressure on the carriers. And this gets back to some of the reasons why we're creating proprietary products. We feel as a group, there's smarter ways to do business and smarter products that can be built. So again, working with a carrier, combining, we can get away from those low interest rates that's putting pressure and build products that are great for the consumer in the future. Number two is the consolidation, right? We just talked about a little bit about M&A, but it's happening all over the financial services sector. If you're a NAILBA member working with broker dealers, you've seen it. You've seen these broker dealers, another, big piece of our financial services sector, just having mass consolidation. Banks, BB&T and SunTrust in my local area, I see the signs changing. And then of course, in our space of distribution, I think it's going to be active M&A for the next few years. And then the other area, which I think is difficult short term, but great for our industry overall, we're going to see selling standards raise, right? This DOL rule is now, I call it DOL 3.0. It looks like that's going to go into effect this week, but they're staying until December. But again, selling standards are going to rise. And so as an organization, you have to ask yourself, are you prepared and ready to deal with whatever technology, processes, et cetera, to be able to meet those goals. But at the end of the day, that's why I think our industry is very exciting, is we're going to have some change put on us. We're going to have some change that we want. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to provide even more value for the consumer and really provide a robust industry that's going to be great for our country. So that's how I look at things in the next, 2 to 5 years.
Jacob, a lot of good points there, right? First, doesn't matter where you're located, there's a best interest coming to you, right? The regulatory challenges remain, and we actually have to enhance our professional development, which Nathan, I believe you mentioned earlier, about getting up to speed. The advisor has to be up to speed more, right? We have to move. The advisor doesn't just get up in the morning and want to sell life insurance. It's usually their third, fourth, or fifth transaction. The more we enhance the professional development, the more that goes up the line on the priority list. And obviously, knowing what the resources are, and knowing where the partners are, knowing where the opportunities are. Yeah. So, Jacob, Brian, you handled the first section. Nathan on the second section. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for sharing about what's going on at Simplicity Simplicity Group. I want to thank you for sharing what resources are out there, and just being real when it comes to where the opportunities are and why people should invest in their time. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for another successful NAILBA Engage panel.
Thank you,
Thank
Dan.
you.
Thanks for all your contribution to NAILBA. You have really transformed it to where it needs to be, and the future looks fantastic for you.
Thank you for saying that. Very much appreciate it.